Hello, I'm Sindiso Khumalo. Welcome to my studio. We're based in Cape Town, South Africa. And today I'm going to be showing you how to mend your favorite precious items using beautiful textile techniques such as crochet and hand applique, and yeah, how to mend those really special items of yours so that you can keep them for longer and have them in your life for a long time. I love vintage clothing, and a lot of the time you'll find with your vintage clothes that they've already got a lot of wear on them because they've been around for so long. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to mend a little vintage t-shirt I have, which had a hole in it, and then also a little sweet little knitwear piece, also vintage, and yeah, how to use these techniques to mend lovely items that you may have that you want to ensure you keep them for longer, because the longer we keep our clothes, the better it is for the planet. So the first technique I'm going to show you is a hand applique technique, which is a technique I love to use in our collections. And definitely if you have like a denim piece that you want to, fix the holes, this is a great way of hiding holes. So we're going to end up with this as our finished product. And how we begin is, firstly, you're going to need some applique paper, which you can get at any craft, like sewing craft shop or haberdashery. Quilting shops are also quite good for this, but I got this at our local haberdashery. And then you're going to need some scrap fabric. We have a lot of waste fabric that we ask all our factories to give back to us, which means we just got a really nice stock of different fabrics that we then can use for this sort of exercise. So I always suggest people, especially if you're a sewer, just keep your waste. It's always very helpful in the future. So what you do is you open up your applique fabric, your applique paper, sorry. And then you lay your fabric over like so. And you'll see there's like a sticky side and a non-sticky side. So you just lay it on the sticky side. And then you use iron and just press it down. Give it a nice good press. Great. Now we're going to do the same thing with another piece of fabric. I like to use lots of different prints and different fabrics. Just makes for like a little bit more texture and interest. So this is one of our prints from one of our collections. And we have Old Liberty's fabric. Same process, and so you just got like a range of different ideas, and I just think it makes, again, just gives a bit of interest to what you're doing. Great. First of all, I guess it's coming out with like whatever design you want. I'm going for a very simple quilt style. This is called the North Star print, which we have in a lot of our designs. So we actually did an actual quilt in this, I think 2 seasons ago. So I'm going to be making something similar, but given that it's a pair of jeans, so we'll probably cut this bit off and just focus on making this print. You can make whatever print you want. Right, so to start off with, I'm going to make the square in the center, which it's much easier to make a square when you've got a grid. So I usually like using check fabrics for the center piece because it's way easier. And I start off by just making my square. And I'm going to make it, it's a terrible ruler. Okay. So mark out your square. I'm making mine 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters. I think that's a nice size. But it can literally be any size you want it to be. I'm going to mark this with a pen. I can't see. So you just mark it out at 15 centimeters. Then we're gonna cut our square out. So now you can see I've made it a little bit smaller, which I prefer. It's not as dramatic. Then the next thing we're gonna do is cut little triangles to fit into and around this square. So essentially what you want is the length of the square. Over here it looks like it's 11 centimeters. So you want 11 centimeters divided by 2, which is 5.5. And you're gonna cut little triangles that are 5.5 to fit around your square. 5.5 length and width. And I'm going to show you how far it takes me down to 11. Sorry. There we go. And go 5.5 the other direction. And then just mark these out over here. So 5.5, 5.5, 5.5. When you cut those out, you're probably going to need 8 triangles. There we go. So I've got my 8 triangles already ready. Here, cut them out earlier. And what I do is I just mark them onto my jeans. And so I can put her like that. So I'm going to do an alternate pattern of alternating triangles. So that's essentially what you're going to end up with as your pattern. And I'm going to do this on a vintage t-shirt because I actually like these jeans with holes. So I like this sweet little vintage t-shirt. I love it. I like the print, it's quite sweet. And it's got a few holes in there. And I'm going to put the applique onto the t-shirt. So I usually like to use the biggest piece on the hole. So what we do is we peel off the applique like so, and we place it down onto, and then we press it down. There we go. Again, just peel the applique paper off. And then you start your pattern. You just work around the t-shirt, pressing your triangles down. And then, there we go. And then, last but not least, the very last piece here. And there you've got the beginnings So next we're going to sew down our applique so make a knot, get a thread, make a knot at the bottom. This is just to make sure that it doesn't come out in the wash. I've never really tried not sewing it down, but you just sew through. Oh gosh, make a slightly bigger knot. Knots are your friends, guys. I mean, the bigger the knot, the less likely your work is going to unravel. So I always put a nice big knot in there. Okay. You go through and across. It's just like a simple hem stitch. It's very simple. You can look up hidden ones, but I quite like that it looks like it's been stitched. And then you just go along your shape. I'm just going to go all the way around the entire thing. The finished results of the applique with the stitching all around, which will just hold everything in place. And you've got your little vintage tee with its little detail. All right, next up, I'm going to show you how to fix a little hole in this little vintage top I have. And knitwear, you know, knitwear is always a hole culprit just because of moths and wear and tear. So what we're going to do is make these little ribbons that we're then going to stitch on top over here. And again, it's just a cute little detail. So the first thing to check is whether like the ladders come down. If it has, then you have to stitch it up. Mine hasn't. Mine's actually just a hole. So what I do is I just go from the back and I just close up the little hole. And like I said, knots are your friends. So give it a nice big knot. There we go. Right, so now you've got your sealed item. We're gonna make these little crochet ribbons that we're just gonna place on the hole because that doesn't look very nice. So I'm gonna put these on top. And let's start doing crochet. First, you need a crochet needle. And some wool, which again, any haberdashery should be fine to find. So we're going to tie a knot twice. 1, 2, and then you kind of put the thread between your fingers in a way that kind of stabilizes it. And then you're going to go under and through. And this is called the chain stitch. Under and through. And be sure to give it a little tug. Under, through. And you just continue like this for about, I don't know, 10, 15 of these, depending on how long you want your bow to be. So I want a nice big round bow. Be sure to kind of, and this is called your chain. Oops. Just keep going. Under and through. Under and through. And then you feed round. Now I'm like, that's not big enough, so I'm gonna keep going for a bit longer. Under and through. And the reason I like chain is it's actually the easiest crochet. Like a long chain is actually the easiest one to do. So this is like beginner, even for me. And then you go through your first hole, bring your wool across, bring it right the way through and right the way through again, so twice. And then you can start with your next chain. And again, you keep going. So now you're doing your second bow. Back. So now we're going to do another. So we find our hole through here. Get your, so you just go through with your hole, get your wool across, and bring it between both your holes, 1 and 2. There we go. And that's your next joint. So now you've got the ears for your bow. We're going to work on the legs. Same setup. And just keep going down, and you can make these as long as you want to make them, to be honest. And then you've got the one leg, and then once you've got this one leg, you can actually just knot it up. And again, remember, knots are your friends. I might make this one a little bit longer, actually. Right. I like to just put my knots right through the middle like this. Pull that out. Got a nice big knot there. And then I'll cut the fluff off. Right, so now I'm missing a leg. And what I do is I actually just join a piece onto the original. So, because you can do this on your own, but you're gonna end up here. So you need to almost start again at your joint and come back to it. So you've kind of got a one-legged bow. So you're doing the last leg, which you do so you do kind of like as a separate leg, I guess. And then double knot. So we're gonna go through the hole. And I wouldn't get too stressed about which hole, like we're just learning here. So, and then down the first hole, and then down the second hole. Now you've got it in, so it's kind of joined. And then you can begin to crochet down again. So. Again, you chain stitch all the way down. It's very relaxing to do crochet. And you can make a chain stitch into anything, straps, anything really. Nice big knot in there, and get that nice and tight. And then you have your little bow. And once you've made a few of these, what you do is you just stitch them on, and I just stitch them at the actual middle bit. Little crochet bows onto your hole. that's your first bow. Or I might just do 2 bows in a corner. So I'll stitch this one in here also. Come down, come back up. And then a nice big knot, just to make sure everything stays in place. And there you have it. Cute little crochet detail for your, that's so much nicer. And when you get more and more skilled at crochet, you can begin to make little squares that you could add as patches, as details to your garments. You know, you could make this into a pocket for a pair of jeans that you might want to like jazz up. So yeah, once you get a bit more skilled, you can really go crazy with crochet. And we have used crochet in sort of the last 2 years. We've been using crochet in our collections, and it's just a really nice old school way of bringing in the handcraft into your work. Cool. Now you've got your 2 pieces, your little vintage tee, which has been hand appliqued, and your little bandeau top with its crocheted bows. And it's just, you know, these are just like really sweet, simple techniques to bring your